Chieftain News here, coming at you guys with part two that I told you guys was coming. More in-depth detail on what was given out as far as vague information on our last show that I put on. Want to welcome everybody to the show. Hope everybody's doing well, and hope you guys stay well. The show is going to have a good ring to it. I think that you guys are going to like this a lot because of the depth that it goes into and explanations about what's going on. So I hope your families are doing well. Before we get started, I just want to say thanks again. I see the uptick in the audience there. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your participation there. Anyway, all right, so let's get into it, guys. On June 28th, 2021, at 3:28 p.m. is what I've got here, and let's go into it. So, the first source that contacted me, I guess, or the group that I was listening in on, was telling that there is an event that has started where the southeastern part of the United States is going to be the coastal lands and cities, low-lying cities, are going to be covered up with like 2 or 3, 4 feet of water. And it's the event has started. It is going to be taking place over the next 2.5 to 3 years. It'll be complete. The coastal rising water is happening because there's bodies of water underneath the Earth's crust that are being forced up and in the oceans, and are going to start, accumulating in the oceans and cause the sea level to rise. There's news that's starting to come out on the internet about it, so I was glad to see that. There's a triple confirmation right there. A second intel source came on, I guess, over the weekend, who's a former Alphabet Soup Group guy, and confirmed that yes, that has started and it is underway, and the governments are preparing for it, and the explanation that came from it was the same. Now, it's not on the news about this explanation that I'm fixing to give, but this is what I was told. That the Earth is, for some reason, it is expanding. It is swelling and expanding, which has been increasing the volcanic activity, the earthquakes, and also the sinkholes we're seeing all over the Earth just suddenly appearing. It's because the instability of the ground is changing, or the structure integrity of the ground is changing, and places that are falling through, opens a big hole and the dirt falls in because it's the integrity of that area was lost. So the Earth is swelling, and the Earth is expanding. Earth expansion is what both intel sources said. They confirmed it is happening, and it was in their expertise. One of them specifically, it was their expertise to get that stuff. So they also both said that coastal buildings and residences and blocks will start to fall will drop in sinkholes. It's going to increase over the next couple of years. It's going to slowly pick up. Again, they both said that this is the least of their worries too. They've got more pressing matters going on with the nations, nations in our world, and things out there abroad in space. So Earth expansion, guys, that's what I'm hearing. That's the cause of all the sinkholes, and that's the cause of forcing up the water in the oceans, which is going to force the coastlands to be flooded with 3, 4, 5 feet of water. So the residences in these low-lying areas, especially in Florida, that's a retirement state. So we're going to have, we need to pray for those people. They're going to be possibly displaced from their houses, or I don't know, buy some some fishing trousers or whatever, so they can walk around in 2, 3 feet of water. Of course, I'm saying this jokingly, but I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, for retirement folks to up and move at this point, it's not something you're thinking about and not prepared for. So I hope and pray this all works out for the best, and I hope that this all works out to where it's not such a big inconvenience, or even worse, a horrible situation to the retirement folks in Florida. The second source did say that it would not be the entire state, but that the Florida Peninsula would be affected. He says, yeah, it looks like at least the whole Florida Peninsula there is going to go underwater, and as these sinkholes start to appear over and over and over again and increase. Okay, so moving on here, there is a new thing that's going on with something that we talked about. I'm going to have to be extremely careful with what I say with this. I've already got one strike against me with YouTube. They done pulled one of my shows, so let me say this. I'm going to be extremely. I'm laughing because of the dance I'm fixing to have to do, and I'm laughing so hard because I should be able just to say whatever I want to say, but I can't. So there's a new lockdown in Australia, and it's due to something that we all know about that's been going around the earth that caused a pandemic, basically. there's a reemergence of that, and it's caused a lockdown. Sydney, Australia is locked down, and the borders of Australia are locking down, and Europe also, because of the that because of that the another round of something that's been a very it's a variance. There we go, and it is hitting Europe as well, and they are also fixing to lock things down. So is India. They're having some of the variants as well, and it's fixing to lock down. And I think that's something that we were talking about earlier shows months ago, that I said that it would be here by September. This is extremely early. This is July, basically. We're end of June, at the end of June here. It fixed to be in July, and I was talking September. I'm waiting to hear from them again to say, we're gonna have to ask them, is this the event that you're talking about, or is there another one coming in September? That's what I'm wondering. Remember that I was saying months ago that this event would happen in September, and that they would say it's the same thing, but I said it's not. The intel sources were saying it's not the same thing. It's something else. It's going to be more severe, and we'll see. Time will tell. That's something else I wanted to drop in today about what's going on with a new pandemic coming. Let's see. Record hail's been falling around the world. The size has been increasing. We've been watching that. Unfortunately, here, but 6 weeks or 8 weeks ago, there was a very tragic event in China. Massive hail had started dropping from a storm in China, which is not normal, by the way. And actually, China's had tornadoes this year, it's a rare thing, but they had 2 of them already. So I don't know what's going on with that. A little bit of a bad weather season for them, and they basically, unfortunately, 22 people died. They got beat to death with hail. And by hailstorm, and that's really rough. They were out running 170 some marathon runners were out running a marathon out on the countryside. A hailstorm just showed up and just pummeled 22 people to death. It was just horrible to read the article. By the way, I prayed for the families and everybody, and that's just really horrible thing to hear. Anyway, they got caught off guard. So that enough being said. But record hail is falling around the world. So the Earth's storms are getting a little bit more intense this year. A little bit more intense. Just wanted to clear that up. Some folks were asking me about that on some other medias that I put out earlier. Before I was on YouTube, I was on another different medias with my family and close personal friends, and I moved it over here to YouTube to see if more people wanted to hear this stuff. So anyway, remember we have a mega drought going on in the western half of the United States, and a group of locusts or grasshoppers have broke out in the western part of the United States and are set to devastate crops. What little is being planted is fixing to get chewed up. That's what it looks like. It's really, like I said, you can't make this stuff up. This is it's just par for the course. We're having a hard time catching a break right now. Let's see. On the western side of the U.S., western half of the U.S., we have a mega drought situation, and if something doesn't give it some relievement soon, people are going to have to start rationing water on the western half of the United States if rain doesn't help out. Or we're going to start buying water or desalinating the ocean or something, because they're not getting any relief. It's a 100-year record-breaking drought. It's the last time this happened, 1913 or sorry, something like that. So that's happening on the western side of the United States. The eastern United States is getting an overabundant amount of rain and flooding in the eastern half of the United States. So it's not the normal situation that we normally have. I mean, we do have it years like this, but it seems to be happening and increasing to where it's less rain over on the west side and more, over rain on, flooding and stuff on the eastern side. So I just wanted to make a note about that, because they're saying a lot of flooding's fixing to take place in the eastern half of the United States, and I'm like, okay, we'll just wait and see on that. So changing gears here to a different topic, different bullet point here. Something I normally don't talk about, but it was relevant because of what's going on in our human history here. So the debt clock, the United States debt clock has hit a point of PONR, the point of no return. That's really not good. That's really not what we want to hear. But the financial advisors, I kind of watched some financial advisors talk about this, and that's when it became something. I was like, we got a financial hardship. Looks like we got in the near future. And the debt clock being where it's at, and the financial guys are looking basically and discussing if the United States is ever going to pay back this $30+ trillion and counting. And they overwhelmingly, they never answered it, but they all shook their heads no. No, the United States government doesn't really intend to ever pay back $30+ trillion to to the loaners of that money, the World Bank, the Fed. So what's going on, right? What's possibly going on here, guys? I mean, are we looking at a different money or currency for a world currency in the future? I think it's highly possible that digital money is going to do that, and cash money is going to go the way of the dodo. The financial guys were even saying this slogan saying that cash is trash, and that digital money is the new digital gold. And I'm like, okay. Now, by any means, I'm not saying go buy digital currency or anything. Just wanted to bring the news source to you guys that I said, hey, there's change going on in so many places, and these are the top headlines of that stuff. Also, there is to go with that bullet point is the UBI, Universal Based Income. It's being discussed by the United States government as far as if you're not working, then you get the Universal Based Income, and it'll be there until you figure out what you need to do. It's going to give citizens the ability to tell their job that, I don't like what's going on here, so I'm going to go take a leave of absence here. I'm going to go on universal based income and find a different career or come back when things change or whatever, and make sure that our employers are going to have to be held to a higher standard, which I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I just reading the article is pretty much the gist of what I was reading. I was like, wow, that's new. Okay, so that's enough on the financial world. I really don't want to ever get into that ever again if I have to. It just became relevant when I found out that they're talking about a universal-based income, and they were talking about the debt clock never being paid off. We've passed the point of no return. So, next bullet point. The Intel group that I normally listen to interrupted an unscheduled or interrupted our days in an unscheduled meeting, a message. The Intel sources whispered an urgent message to those of us who have been diligently listening. And they know how to talk to us. And you could say it is kind of in code, because it is kind of in code. So let me tell you, what they said, they would not tell us what it is that I'm fixing to discuss with you. But they said you really don't need to know. And that you would know soon enough what it is. But they told me that they had told us that a decision has been made that they are not happy with at all. Something that they're fixing to do here with the world, human population, that the world's human population is not ready for. And said this is going to be a very big test for all about our faith. And this is going to test our faith. Basically saying it says that they asked us to double our efforts in putting news out and getting people to get on the right path and get going the direction they need to be going, instead of letting the TV suck up all their time or gaming suck up all their time. For those of us who are listening and paying attention or awake, we're listening and we're relaying the information because we feel compelled to. So they told us to double our efforts, and they told us to tell you, everybody out there who's listening, your faith is about to be tested. What you believe in is about to be tested. And they're saying that you're not ready for it, that I'm not ready for it. So they said, double your efforts because it's coming. And it was alarming to them, by the way. But they would not say what it is. They just said a paradigm shift is coming. So a thought process is going to be introduced that's going to change the way we think and believe. A paradigm shift. So big test, guys. So hold fast to what you got. Hold on real tight. Because your faith is about to be tested, I'm hearing. We'll see. We'll see what it is here very soon. Okay, moving on into... almost done here, guys. Hang in there. And I've got some late-breaking news to bring in on top at the end, just before my commentary. So we may run up a little bit over 15 minutes. We're at 14:10 right now. So anyway, let's see. We're looking at... the U.S. has carried out airstrikes in Iraq and Syrian border. Breaking news that goes with that is this, is that Iran and Syria and Russia are working together, and Assad from Syria wants all the different military groups that are there in Syria, they want them out. All uninvited militaries need to leave. And Iran is including Iran's proxy folks that are getting too close to Israel, causing Israel to come in and strike all the time because they're bringing toys to play with Israel, and Israel doesn't like it. When they bring missiles and hardware that can go boom, close to Israeli, borders, they're gonna strike before they get a chance to use that stuff. So with Iran being asked to do it and Iran doing the saber rattling, saying everybody needs to get out of Syria, it kind of needs to be attached to Russia. The intel sources have always trained us as far as just talking about this stuff, saying if you hear Iran's doing something, it's also Russia. And be advised that if you didn't know this, the Russian army, the Russian Air Force, and the Russian Navy are in Syria. A good amount, not a huge amount, but a good amount are there to take care of business if they need to in that region or area. So if Iran's talking about doing it, Russia is there too, also talking about doing it. So keep that in mind. Also, with going along with that is that the U.S. is also threatening sanctions on any of its Gulf allies if they work with Assad in Syria. So they're saying don't ally up with Syria. In fact, do the opposite. So I'm sitting here wondering about this and did some quick thought over it overnight before I got on this morning, and letting you guys know that if in fact this happens, and if Russia and Iran and all the other militaries are kicked out, including the United States and France and other NATO troops and all the other proxies from Iran, militants like Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Intifada, and the list goes on of those groups, the Muslim Brotherhood, if they are kicked out of that area and go into Iraq or even into other Middle Eastern states and start to attack Israel from other directions, what will happen then? So this may be the shift that causes the regional war in the Middle East that may start up, that may actually come right back around and fill in Syria in the Golan Heights and start a big war. So we'll keep our eyes and ears on that. So that's the breaking news that I had, is that there are strikes going on, but carried out by the U.S. on the Syrian and Iraqi border, and also one quick mention about Naftali Bennett, the Prime Minister of Israel, that replaced Netanyahu, is clearly a very iron-fisted leader. Swift strikes have happened, and he's telling the other Middle Eastern countries, if you even think about messing with us and you prepare to strike us, we're going to hit you hard. Harder than what Netanyahu. The response will be over what Netanyahu did. It'll be harsher type of response. So he's letting them know, as a new prime minister, that I'm not one to take lightly you messing with the nation of Israel. Anyway, it's commentary. To see you guys here is a good thing. Don't forget, I only request that you guys just take what I tell you with a grain of salt, and please do your own homework. Please do your own prayer, meditation, and find your path in life. Find the path that you've been chosen to go on. Understand that I've told you this briefing, that there is a test coming of your faith. A paradigm shift is coming, and the intel groups are saying that the human population of the earth is not ready for this. They're not. But a decision has been made with certain groups, and they're fixing to do this, expose this, or bring this to the table to where everybody can see. So just hold fast to what you have, hold fast to your faith, whatever that may be, and understand that this may be very much a manipulation. This may be very much anybody who has a weak faith or no faith. This could be a game changer. This could take them in. So keep that in mind, guys. I care about y'all a lot. I care about the human population a lot, and just understand that I'm doing this for a reason. I'm doing this for not doing it for really an entertainment factor. I'm not, even though I'm sure I'm quite entertaining to some folks. They probably have a good knee slap and laugh on me on my account. That's fine. I don't have any problems with that. I know that Noah was laughed at for 120 years while he built a boat, on dry land. They're like, "What are you doing?" And they gave him a hard time. I know that Pharaoh laughed his head off when Moses first showed up and said, "Hey, let my people go." And I know that people were laughing at Samson too after they got his hair cut off and had him in prison for a while. And then that didn't turn out too well for him. The last mocking session they had with him, he kind of brought down the house for him. Yuck, yuck, LOL. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, just think about the future. It's the same thing. It looks it's the same story, type of repetitive thing. And keep your eyes sharp, keep your ears to the ground, and look out to the horizon all at the same time. and take care. In the future, want to let you guys know, got about a minute left here. I may be doing a live show here in the near future. Hopefully before this paradigm shift thing comes. Just want to get you guys prepared for it. It'll be probably on a weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night type of situation. I'm trying to plot it where it needs to be. Trying to do the best crunching of data that I can to get that out. Maybe a Q&A session with you guys, just in case you guys want to do that. It'll probably be an hour long at the most. Not really wanting to do much longer than that of Q&A, just to be available and make myself available there. But other than that, have a good day. Enjoy your jobs, your families, and hope everybody has a good week. Be safe, stay well. And there's new critters out there running around variant wise, and so practice social distancing. I don't like wearing a mask, by the way. I really don't. Take care of yourself, stay well, and we'll see you here shortly. Part 3 coming up shortly after that. There's still a lot more, guys. Take care. Chieftain News out.